Yo, how's it going? It's Zen, and today I will be making a Doom styled track. Doom, the video game, that is. Um, Everyone knows that Mick Gordon is a very special man who makes very, very special music. And today I'm gonna show you how you can achieve that kind of sound if you want to try make it yourself. Thing that I do is I grab all my drums, all my acoustic drums, and I use FPC. I have a preset made here. It's my metal drum kit. Um, I've made it myself. Just basically, I have um, I have a bunch of samples in here. One of them is called Metal Drums, specifically for metal sounding drums, but I also recommend the Kashmir sound, or the Sound of Kashmir Volume 2. Very good sample pack. It has some acoustic drums here. It's very good. So a lot of different styles of drums, but for this kind of genre, I guess you want a full metal type drum kit. Um, so what I do first initially is I want to route the FPC into the mixer channel, and then what I want to do is go on each sound here and route it each individual sound into the mixer channel. That way they all have their own little place where they live. I'm just gonna quickly route them all into there, and I will be right back. And there we go. So that's all the drums routed in to the mixer channel, and I've labeled all of them. So the next thing that I do when making this style of track is you want to get yourself a guitar. If you don't play guitar or don't have a guitar or can't play guitar, then there's a few plugins you can get. I use heavier 7 strings. It's a great sounding guitar. It's a 7 string and it has quite a lot of good qualities. It's just an overall pretty good plugin. You could use Shreddage, you could use Odin, any guitar plugin will work. So once you get your guitar plugin, you want to set it up, and I have a preset here which I believe is this one. I just turn the reverb off, go back here, oh, put that to drop A, and turn the pitch all the way down. I'm just gonna route it into this channel here. Call it, can't spell, call it guitar. I'm gonna turn it down. There we have one of the guitars. I'm gonna use another one, and I'm also gonna route it into this channel, call it guitar 2. And what I like to do is I like to double up on guitars, so it just makes the sound a bit thicker in my opinion, and I choose a different kind of more buzzing kind of preset tone, I meant. gonna use that one. I like that one. That sounds good. And I'm gonna route them all into a separate bus called the guitars channel, and they're both gonna be routed into there, and that's gonna go into the master channel. And from there, I'm gonna leave it for now. Next thing I do is get yourself a bass guitar, and since I don't actually have a bass guitar plugin, I'm gonna go into Morphine, into basses, and I'm gonna get the Ibanez bass here. So by itself it sounds pretty shit, but if I route it into here, call that bass, turn it down a bit, go into plugins. If you have heavier 7 strings, it comes with a heavier effects as well, so I can load up my effects, and I have new preset here, which is my bass guitar preset. Sounds pretty good. Obviously I'm gonna EQ it as well a little bit. But for now let's just go into here, and we're gonna write a little riff and go on one of the guitars. Let's do this one, and you want to choose a BPM that's going to suit you, but also a BPM that kind of sounds more like I guess the BPM used in the Doom soundtrack. I'm not really gonna call it just a Doom soundtrack, because it kind of just reminds me of like the cyber world as well, from Cyberpunk, Night City. I'm gonna put it at 90 BPM, and then you want to write yourself a riff, and you want to choose a key. So the Doom soundtrack, the song that everyone loves, but I think I'm gonna do mine in G. So in the guitar terms, it would be drop G, or I guess if you're in a 7 string, I'm not actually quite sure what that would be, but it doesn't matter, we're not using a real guitar. So you want to write yourself a little riff. So let's see. I'm gonna put the metronome on. I like using the metronome. It keeps me in time. And I have to put velocity muting, so that if I change the velocity to a certain place, it's gonna palm mute the guitar. And there you go, that's the main riff. And then what I do from there is I copy and paste it into the second guitar. And the second guitar also has to have velocity muting on. we have our main riff. And what you want to do there with the guitars is you want to EQ them. So remember, we have them in this bus here. So grab an EQ, and what I do is I take away the low end. Not quite all of it, just enough so that it's not muddy, and the bass guitar has a little room to breathe. Add a little bit. Also, I take away this portion of the high. Around 14 and a half, about 1500. Sorry, 15,000. That's just my basic guitar. I like it when the tone has quite a lot of high end. And now the bass pattern is just gonna be the same pattern here, but with the bass guitar. And put the bass guitar one octave lower. Actually, I was wrong. Although you do want to extend those notes since the guitar is actually sustaining. There we have the bass guitar. Like I said, it's not the best bass guitar at all by any means, but it does the job for now until I get a plug-in at least, or a bass guitar to record. So now that we have that, what I like to do is I like to add some secret sauce, which is an electronic type bass, and I use Harmor for that. I'm just gonna set it to default, and we're gonna make this bass sound ourselves. So what I do is turn that all the way down, turn it up a little bit, some distortion on it. very basic bass sound. It just gives it a little bit more oomph. Copy and paste that. Control C, Control V. If you just highlight it, press Control C, press Control V on that one, it'll copy and paste the exact pattern. But since we set the to a bass, it needs to be an octave high. Now we route it to a channel, put the volume down, and EQ the sub out of it. Turn the volume down a lot more. You want it there just kind of as a texture kind of sound. And since there's palm mute in this, I'm just solo. I'm gonna make all those palm mutes shorter notes so that it kind of sounds like it is muting. There we go. So now you want to create a drum pattern. And like I said, we're going to use FPC for that one. And I'll just create something quite basic. That sounds pretty good. And now we're gonna go into the mixer channel. Turn those down a little bit. Definitely turn down the crash cymbal. I'm gonna people are gonna sue me for this again, but I am going to use a sound goodizer on the kick drum. Because I like the way it sounds, and people can sue me over that. I don't care. I'm gonna put an EQ on the snare. Just gonna EQ the low end and highlight this little section. Add a little bit of high end, and people are gonna sue me again, but sound goodizer. Now we're going to EQ the crash cymbals. There we go. And that'll be just about that for the drums. So this is what we've got so far. I'm gonna have to turn those back up a little. What you can also do is I'm not sure if Mick Gordon does this, but I'd like to do a little bit of side chaining. So I'm gonna just route those two into there, and I'm gonna side chain that into this channel. So call that side, and side chain to this track, and put on a fruity limiter, and go into the compression, threshold down, knee up, ratio up, and now we're gonna route all of this into the side channel, and then we're gonna mess around with it a little bit. That's sounding pretty good. And next, we want to add, we're going to just copy and paste that there, and I'm going to slightly change the drums in this one and do a different drum fill. Something like that. And I will have to add a that's fine actually, the way it is. That's sounding pretty good. I don't want to save that just yet. So I think now what you want to do is I'm going to add another pattern, and this is going to be kind of a little texture sound. And I'm going to go into Harmor again, and it's just going to be a detuned saw. Make sure you're on the default pattern. It's going to be a default saw, quite detuned. Put it high up, put a little reverb on it, and it's just going to play a top part just on the root note. Right there. Just going to go for 4, put it there. Make sure you add it to the channel here, add that to side, turn it right down, and make sure you put an EQ and EQ out all the low end that's not needed. already sounds a little better. One other thing that you can do is you can grab yourself a little crowd sound, and I got mine from Cymatic's Dubstep FL Studio project from ages ago, but I always use it. Stretch it into place, add it into the mixer channel, turn it right down. There, and there you go. That's two like cool texture sounds that you could use to spice up your mix a little bit and to kind of get rid of some of that empty space. So we have just the main section here, and that's that. Um, Next, you could add some more texture sounds if you'd like. I personally like to use a little atmosphere, and for that I like to use some of the atmospheric samples from Leviathan. I really like this one, so I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna cut it right there. Cut it as that, and I'm gonna route that into its own channel, and I'm gonna put an EQ on it, get rid of the low end again, and then I'm going to chuck it into the side channel. See what it looks like. It's already sounding a lot better. But what I am going to do is I'm going to half the sample I'm also going to change that transient to smooth bleeding, so just in case there's any clicking. One other thing that you could do to your guitar channel is you could add OTT and see just what it sounds like. Sometimes you can have cool results. I'm just going to solo the guitar channel. This is what it sounds like versus without. OTT is a very powerful plugin, but we're going to have to turn that right down again. This this is what we have so far. And yeah, in the next video, I will be touching up on how to make the intro and I guess the next section, and we're going to be continuing the track. Um, Sorry in advance that this video is so long, and sorry that we've only made this, but trust the process. It does take a little while, and I am doing this completely off the top of my head. Um, so yeah, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you've learned something. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and bye.